Billy, the thing is that things happen and things have happened, okay? And everything that happens for a reason, you know? And, you know, Jeff's dead, okay? And somebody killed him. It was a murder, okay? And I know that you were there. I can prove it. I can prove it to you right here.
This is Billy Phillips. He's a convicted bank robber, a check forger, a father of a newborn, and as of 6 days ago, a murderer. The man he killed was Jeff Biddle, a 66-year-old CEO who built his own house over 18 years, built the furniture in his office by hand, and was described by every person who knew him as brilliant, generous, and meticulous. Jeff's last morning alive, he woke up at 5:55 a.m. and Googled "Good Day Sunshine" by the Beatles. Then he searched "Here Comes the Sun." He listened to songs about hope while the sun came up. 2 hours later, he was dead in his own basement. Billy Phillips was at Jeff's front door by 7 a.m. By 9 a.m., he was walking away from the house, and by noon, he was at the bank, depositing Jeff's forged checks, wearing the same clothes.
Who's that?
That's me.
Who's that?
Me.
I'm wearing damn near the same shit you're wearing now.
Yep, me. That's me. That's me.
On June 23, 2021, Jeff Biddle was found dead in the basement of his home in Bethesda, Maryland. He had been shot 4 times with a .22 caliber weapon. His car had a flat tire, deliberately punctured before the killer entered the house. His phone showed he'd been forced to call his bank at 7:58 a.m. An email had been sent from his account at 9:07 a.m., telling co-workers he had a family emergency on a day he already had off, and the man who did all of it was sitting in an interrogation room 6 days later, wearing the same clothes with Jeff's credit card still in his wallet. Jeff Biddle ran a company called Payment Solutions, a firm that helped distribute money to nonprofits. His office had ping-pong tables and little golf games. He built half the furniture himself. His employees had worked with him for over a decade. Jeff built his own house, not hired a contractor, physically built it himself over 18 years. The officers who entered after his death walked through and noticed. Everything was meticulous, surfaces clean. A man who cared about every detail of his environment. He had an ex-wife in Chevy Chase and a daughter in her 30s who lived with him. He was 66 years old, and by every account, he was in the best stretch of his life. When Jeff didn't show up to work on Thursday, June 24th, his co-workers knew something was wrong. Jeff was a workaholic. Missing work without explanation was unthinkable. One of them drove to his house. Jeff's car was in the driveway with a flat tire. His wallet and phone were on the counter. But the basement door was locked. They called police. And what officers found in that basement is captured on body camera.
County Police, hello!
Do you want the air?
No, not yet. County Police, Mr. Biddle!
Oh, wait, I guess.
That was the door they were talking about. 20, can you have 25 start talking to the neighbors right now?
Only one missed call? When's garbage day in this area?
No idea.
This is clean.
It's clean. That's me.
Yeah.
Hello! I heard it.
Okay. It smells like it was recently sprayed.
There's
Like cologne.
Fresh cat poop on the floor. Missed the box.
Well, this is just from like his.
It's like preparing to go.
I think there's stairs out there.
I'm gonna risk it.
Oh.
Office space. Sorry. I'm too wide. Yeah, it needs up to your stairs.
Female shoes. He obviously doesn't live alone.
Right.
Maybe he's renting.
That's when he has the backdrops for photography.
Photos.
Yeah.
I guess we'll check the basement. It's probably little man syndrome.
It's some sort of catch.
Can you unlock it?
No. Oh. Okay, sorry.
What? Can we go down?
No, hang tight there. Sorry, I'm trying to figure it out.
Figure what out?
No update from the tag.
Cause of death.
Not a 30.
Go ahead and make notifications for major crimes.
Okay. Homicide first or medical? Hey, this is Officer Weber in Bethesda. We are currently on an unknown DOA. Oh, probably. I don't know the details of it. My sergeant's downstairs. He just told me to start making notifications. Okay, sounds good. This is my personal cell number. It's Melissa Weber. Yep. Thanks, bye. Does it look natural?
I don't want to step into their scene, but I'm not sure.
It's right from the stairwell, you can see. Huh?
I have one 22 caliber casing on the floor.
Okay.
A lot of blood. Looks like he thrashed around a lot.
I'm just gonna stand in the stairwell.
Yep, thank you.
No, like on this level.
Okay, I got you.
So you said 122 caliber case.
122. It looks like a 22.
Okay. But you don't see that.
No, I don't see the weapon unless he's laying on top of it. But again, he thrashed around a lot.
Oh boy.
And it starts back over there. Well, now that I've stepped on their stuff, I'll keep stepping.
Well, there's a big pool right by his feet.
Yeah, there's a big pool over here where it coagulated back behind his head.
Okay.
I got a little bit of tissue underneath the staircase. Over near the sump pump.
Huh.
It's weird drops down here the way that they've spread.
Kind of like 0100?
Nah, I can't tell yet. I have a shirt down here. It's got cigarettes in the pocket. It's all kind of mangled up.
I just don't see like... I mean, I'm not gonna go... Oh, here, look at... Hole in the wall.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get back over there.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time.
I'm trying to take it in.
31-year-old male. And he has been threatening suicide recently and has mentioned
Hello?
prior to the case.
Yeah. Good. How are you? That's what Sergeant figured. It's definitely gonna come out. Yeah, it was like a check welfare with 6D of a CEO that hasn't responded to work in 24 hours, which is unusual. His car is here with a flat tire. The coworker came to search the house and didn't see him, but wallet and cell phone were on the counter, but the basement door was locked. So we got into the basement and he's laying here and DOA, but we can't tell how. But there's like a large pool of blood. Looks like he was thrashing around on the ground. There looks like possible wound casing. Yeah, it's not your typical, like, there's big pools of blood, like, in a few different areas.
Was that your hole?
We don't see a gun.
He could be on top of it.
He could be on top of it, but he's laying on his back. Yeah, no. Hold on. It is... Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sarge said he believes it's a .22 caliber casing on the ground. Nope. We haven't talked to anyone. We were just made into the entry to check the house, and then Sarge got to the basement. He's like, start making notifications to homicide, and then me. I'm like, okay. And text it to you? Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, bye. I don't know who that was. But it looks like, do you see right here too?
What's that?
Did you see this right here?
No, I'll get that on the camera.
He's on the phone with HR, and now he's also finding he does not have a firearm, but he has mentioned putting one to his head before. It says he doesn't have one.
So I don't know.
Oh, good eye. And then there's like, it looks like hair fragments right there. Alright, let me get a close up on that. Cool.
She wants me to take pictures.
It was a better?
It sounded like it at first, but I don't think it was.
Okay. This is interesting because here's another.
Yeah.
Maybe a test shot. Because it comes up from that direction, the way the blowout is on the corner bead. I hope the camera catches that. But...
4 gunshot wounds, a .22 caliber casing. Blood pools in multiple locations. Jeff had thrashed, tried to move, tried to survive. The 4th shot was the one that killed him. He had been alive in that basement, fighting, for longer than anyone should have to. Within hours, detectives received information that changed the direction of the investigation. An email Jeff supposedly sent to coworkers on the morning he was killed, saying he had a family emergency, had one problem. Jeff already had the day off. He wasn't supposed to be at work. Whoever wrote that email knew enough about Jeff's company to know who to send it to, but didn't know enough to know Jeff wasn't working that day. That mistake led detectives to a former employee, a man who had already been caught forging Jeff's checks, a man who had Jeff's credit card in his wallet when they found him. Billy Phillips was picked up on a warrant. He was told he was under arrest, but not told why. When the detective sits down, Billy assumes this is about checks.
Sorry about that. All right, Billy. Do you know why you're here?
Not exactly.
What do you know exactly? You have some idea?
They told me I was under arrest and that I would be talked to when I got here.
They didn't tell you what you're under arrest for?
No, sir.
Did they tell you had a warrant?
They did.
But they didn't tell you what it was about?
No, sir.
You don't have any idea what it would be about? So you're here about some checks that you deposited. Okay.
Okay.
Have you deposited any checks lately?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why do you sound like that?
I could explain it to you, but you probably wouldn't get it.
Well, why don't you try? Because I've heard a lot of shit, so maybe I would.
I deposited checks that I shouldn't have deposited, mainly out of desperation with new baby on the way and back was against the wall.
Whose checks did you deposit?
Steve Willard's.
Steve Phillips. Did they go through or did they bounce?
They went through.
Okay. How much were they for?
Normally like 25.
Okay. How did you come into possession of the checks?
Again, some of the checks I already had
Okay.
in my possession. They were given to me, and then certain things happened.
So you mean they were like legitimate checks that he wrote to you?
They were given to me in case of emergencies.
So blank checks.
Okay, with the understanding that okay, let's not write the bank off here.
Okay.
Okay, but let's. Again, it was in case of emergency, and I worked really close with the man.
Okay. How long did you work for him for?
Since 2016. Yep, 2016, 2017.
Until
2020. July sometime.
Why'd you leave?
Well, he went crazy. There's no other way to say it.
I mean, I talked to the guy, so like.
He went. They said it was a. Well, he said it was. What's it called? When you have the mood swing back and forth.
Bipolar.
Bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
However, it being as close as I was to him and talking, it was more like paranoid, schizophrenic.
Yeah. What was he paranoid about?
A lot of people in the company.
Cellfire?
Yes, sir. Okay. And
what was he paranoid? Like, what about people in the company?
Well, certain people coming after his position, trying to take over, trying to screw him over at the board, and so on and so forth. And unfortunately, he was right that they were trying to do that, and my job was monitoring and giving him information.
Were you like an IT auditor?
I wasn't an auditor. I was more of a jack of all trades IT personnel.
Okay. How much was he paying you?
83 a year.
Okay. Plus health insurance and all that?
Plus health insurance. And then what kind of went sideways was Marie. And Marie got sick. She had an episode back in February. She had another episode. And I covered for her. And ended up getting, putting my ass in a sling. And Mr. Willard, who had given me standing orders if anything would ever happen again with Marie to handle it this way, then report to him. Well, he was at psych ward up north.
In Sykesville?
Well, were you being funny?
No, there's literally one in Sykesville, Maryland.
No, there's Shepherd Pratt.
Shepherd in Baltimore.
Okay, so he was Shepherd Pratt, and so I couldn't get in touch with him.
Steve was?
Yes.
Okay.
And then when he finally got back, he pretty much kind of threw his hands up. That there was nothing that he could do, but still asked for my help with what he was dealing with the company since I had the information. So I kind of got screwed just by, if I helped one person, I was damned. If I helped another person, I was damned.
Okay.
And so, having held on to those, I mean, those were given to me a couple of years prior, and something I shouldn't have done, but.
How much money was it for? What was the total? Roughly. 20,000?
Something like that. I mean, if you put them all together.
Yeah, like I said, roughly. I don't expect you to know that off the top of your head. So are Steve Willer's checks the only checks that you've cashed? Or deposited? I'll say cash and deposit, and I use them kind of you know.
There was.
You thinking?
I'm trying to.
Okay. If I showed you some pictures of some checks, might they jog your memory?
The thing is,
Who's Jeff Biddle?
the guy I used to work for,
You ever cash any of his checks?
I have.
Have you ever forged any checks from Jeff to yourself?
Twice.
Okay, when was that?
I don't even know when that was.
What do you mean I know when that was?
It was recently,
How recent?
last week.
Okay. It's kind of shitty timing, isn't it? That's kind of shitty timing, isn't it?
That's kind of shitty timing, isn't it? The detective already knows Jeff is dead. Billy doesn't know the detective knows. So when Billy casually admits to forging checks last week, the same week Jeff was murdered, the detective's response is almost amused. Shitty timing. Billy hears it as sarcasm about getting caught forging. The detective means it as, you forged checks from a dead man on the day you killed him. Two people in the same room hearing the same sentence and understanding completely different things.
How do you know Jeff? You said you used to work for him?
Yes.
This is kind of like a shitty printout. I'll see if I can get you that on, but do you recognize that picture?
Yes, sir.
So this one is a check that you deposited into an ATM at the Navy Federal over in Crown.
Yes.
Okay. I know it's kind of hard to make out over here. Here's a better picture of it. It's for $9,500.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you deposited on, it looks like, you can't read it here very well, but it's on June 23rd, which was last Wednesday, at 11:53 p.m. Okay, this one, you deposited, I believe with a teller, on June 23rd for $4,450. June 23rd, Navy Federal. There's no time on here, but I believe it was somewhere around 1 o'clock. Could be wrong about that. I mean, half the records, but... Where did you get those checks?
What, Jeff checks? just where I'm real scared right this second.
Okay. Why are you scared?
And I mean, you've been nice to me. Everybody's been nice. I want to talk to my fiance. Okay.
I can see about that. So, I can see you're getting kind of emotional. So, I'm just going to ask, you know what happened to Jeff, right?
I do, and that was, I didn't do anything.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stop you there. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay? We'll get to that in a second. Alright? Bill, you seem like a nice guy, man. Like, there's nothing personal going on here. Okay? Like, I'm not being nice to you as an act. I don't think anybody's been nice to you as an act. If you were a fucking asshole, I would be one.
I understand.
Okay?
It's okay if I drink the water while you're talking?
Absolutely, absolutely. But why is Jeff's card in your wallet? See, Billy, the thing is that things happen and things have happened, okay? And everything that happens for a reason, you know? And, you know, Jeff's dead, okay? And somebody killed him. It was a murder, okay? And I know that you were there, and I can prove it. I can prove it to you right here.
The detective just told Billy 2 things. 1, Jeff is dead. 2, I can prove you were there. Billy's face doesn't change. He's been expecting this. The question isn't whether Billy was at Jeff's house. The question is what happened inside. And Billy is about to spend the next hour trying not to answer it. What follows is one of the most methodical evidence presentations in any interrogation on this channel. Detective Pete doesn't rush. He lays each piece on the table one at a time and lets Billy absorb it.
That you were there, but before we get there, okay, like, everybody has all this nice shit to say about Jeff. You know what I mean? Like, that's really the story here that we have so far, is how nice of a guy Jeff is, and how, like, I can't believe he had no enemies. I can't believe anybody would do this to him. And there's a reason what happened to him happened to him. I'm not saying because, like, he was a bad guy and made enemies with you or anybody else, okay? But, you know, obviously, like, you're in a situation in your life where there's a certain level of desperation, okay? I know Steve Willard fired you. You know, whether it was because you did something wrong or he was going crazy is kind of irrelevant.
Well, he didn't. Right.
Well, his HR got rid of you. Okay, again, whether it was for a legitimate reason or not, that still puts you in a fucked up situation financially. You got a new kid on the way, and you're strapped for cash. Okay, so I can completely understand, you know, like, how you're in this spot. You have a history, obviously, with Steve of stealing checks or, you know, writing fraudulent checks. Jeff's got money. You go there with the intention of taking his checks, and maybe he's home when he's not supposed to be, and something happens. You know, maybe you're like, fuck. You know, you did prison time, right, in Virginia. You don't want to go back to prison, and shit gets out of control and out of hand. That's a very different story than, like, you know, Billy's a fucking monster that went to Jeff's house and brutally murdered him for no reason. Okay, those are 2 very different stories. All right, but here's the problem. I'm going to show you some records, and I'm going to show you how I know that you were there. Obviously, you cashed the checks on the day of the murder, 6/23. Well, you did one on, it looks like you did one on 6/25. I don't know if it just posted 6/25, but you did the 2 on 6/23, and, like, you know, that obviously is going to raise some red flags. So then we start looking at some things. Sorry, I got so much shit here. That's going to take me a minute to find what I'm looking for.
Am I not supposed to be
What? Not supposed to what?
looking over there?
Yeah, dude, I would be fucking trying my damnedest if I was you to be looking at everything I got. So, I'm going to show you everything here, okay? A lot of it's financial stuff. Checks. A lot of it's the same copy of the same check, just so you know. Like, I don't have like 50 checks here that I'm saying that you did. A lot of it's just the same check copied in different ways. Who's that?
That's me.
Who's that?
Me. Me.
You're wearing damn near the same shit you're wearing now.
Yep, me. That's me. That's me. That's Mr. Bill.
Navy federal account records. I'm not going to go through that right now. There's something specific I'm looking for to show you. So these records are from Jeff's phone, okay? Go ahead in a second. Have the scoop closer to you? Alright, so I want you to look at the date, okay? So 6/22, that's the day before Jeff was killed. Okay? This is at 10:20 p.m. Probably goes to sleep sometime after here. Okay? 6:23 at 5:55 a.m. He Googles Good Day Sunshine, which is a song.
Okay.
Alright? 6:23, 5:55, Good Day Sunshine, he searches for it again. 6:23, 2021, YouTube. 6:23, 5:55, Good Day Sunshine, he's listening to the song. Here he starts listening to the Beatles. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. Back to YouTube at 6 o'clock. Here at 6 o'clock. Then right here, 6:23, that's 6:59 a.m. What's that? Can you read that?
SunTrust.
He goes to his SunTrust account.
Okay.
Right here, same exact time, he probably clicked another link on his SunTrust account, okay?
Okay.
This is from his phone. Put that aside for a second. Here's his call logs. Alright? 6:22, 6:22, these are all incoming calls. 6:23 at 7:58 a.m. He makes a call to that number. Do you know what that number is? It's SunTrust.
Okay.
Okay. This is the only time that Jeff Biddle has called SunTrust from his cell phone going back to 2018.
Okay.
Okay. This is the last phone call his cell phone makes. Okay?
Alright.
Now I'm gonna move on for a second. Let me show you the bottom half. This is a forwarded email. The top half was forwarded to my partner. Okay. At 9:07 a.m., an email goes from Jeff to some of the membership of PSI.
Okay.
Had a family emergency come up this morning. More than likely we've out of reach today. Apologize for the short email and we'll be in touch when I can. Thanks, Jeff. So when they got this email, immediately they became suspicious because Jeff wasn't supposed to work on this day. What I know about Jeff and what I'm sure you know about him is that he's a workaholic. So he's always at work. Well, he took off on Wednesday the 23rd. He was going on a date with this girl he just started dating. We were supposed to be going all day. So right away, the company is like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird. And then Thursday comes around and he doesn't show up for work. And that's when the police get called and he's found dead. All right. But a couple of things about this email that I think are pretty important. So whoever wrote this email would have to know enough about Jeff and the company to know who to send it to, but not know enough to know that Jeff wasn't supposed to work or be in touch at all on Wednesday anyways. You see what I mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is just another copy of the email. What kind of car were you driving today?
White Beamer. X3.
Whose car is that?
Maurice.
Marie's. Is it it's registered to like her dad or something, right?
Yes.
You were driving, I think 2 days ago, we had you on video with Sunoco too driving. You drive that car often?
Yes.
Okay. So the times on this camera are a tad off, you know how some of those cameras can be? But at 7:02 a.m., this car goes by Jeff's house. So this camera is the corner house, which is the one next to Jeff's.
Okay.
So this is Jeff's street. Okay? So right around the same time that SunTrust website, accesses this car, which right now, like, yeah, I can't see the tag on this, okay? But that's your car. I know it's your car. Going by. Then, that email sent at 9:07. All right? No other emails or any text messages go out from Jeff's phone. $9:20 in the morning. It's a bad picture because it's a still shot I took from a video, okay? But this is you walking away from his house.
Notice what Detective Pete just did. He didn't start with "You killed Jeff." He started with Jeff's morning, Beatles songs at sunrise, a man checking his bank account, a normal Wednesday. Then he layered the evidence on top, the phone call Jeff never makes voluntarily, the email Jeff didn't need to send, the car on camera, the figure walking away. By the time Pete says, "That's you," Billy has already watched the detective reconstruct the entire crime without asking him a single question about it. The evidence told the story. Pete just organized it. With the evidence laid out, Detective Pete does something most detectives don't have the skill to do. He delivers an extended monologue, part empathy, part confrontation, part psychological profiling, that runs for nearly 8 minutes without Billy saying a word. This is the section you need to watch in full.
So the question is, like I said, did you go there and kill him because you have me fooled and you're just a fucking monster? Or did you go there because you're desperate for something and things got out of hand? And this is your opportunity, to tell that side of the story. They say there's two sides to every story. Well, if the side that I had was favorable to you already, you wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? So this is it, man. This is your shot to tell us what happened. I know what happened. I don't know all the details. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why it happened. But this is your chance to maybe put a little bit of an explanation on it, because people want to know, and people are going to be asking, and it matters. Maybe there's a reason for why what happened, or maybe there isn't. But there's only 2 people who know the answer to that, and one of them's dead.
And the other one's a convicted felon.
I don't care that you're a convicted felon at all. That has nothing to do with why you're here. I don't, yes, you're a convicted felon, you're a convicted bank robber, but that was a long time ago. Okay? And you're not here because I was like, oh shit, Billy did a bank robbery, he must have killed Jeff.
No.
You're here because everything lines up. The evidence put you there. That also goes to show that, this wasn't some pre-planned out horrific thing. You did a fucking awful job, if this is a pre-planned thing. But it looks bad, because you're a big dude, you're 36 years old, he's a 66-year-old man killed in his house. It fucking looks bad, man. And you're wearing the same motherfucking clothes that you're wearing at the bank. You're wearing the same clothes that you're wearing on that video. Nothing here looks good for you.
You did a fucking awful job. The detective just insulted Billy's planning, but it's strategic. By calling the murder poorly executed, Pete is implicitly suggesting it wasn't premeditated. He's offering Billy a narrative. This wasn't planned. It got out of hand. You panicked. That narrative carries a lighter sentence than cold-blooded, premeditated murder. Pete is dangling a lifeline. Billy just has to reach for it.
But again, the thing you have to hold on to is that there might be a reason for this. You didn't mean for this to happen. Or maybe you did. I'm wrong. You're just a fucking asshole. But you don't strike me as that. The guys who took you into custody out by your apartment, they called me right away, right? And they're like, dude, this guy is as nice as can be. You've been as nice and as respectful as can be here. I'm younger than you and you're calling me sir and shit. You don't have to do that anyways, you know what I mean? I'm not sir, I'm just Pete. But there's no question that you did this. There isn't. Or that you were there.
I was there, but I didn't kill him.
So what happened? If you were there but you didn't kill him, what happened?
And this is the part that just...
So that's you on video. What happened? Was somebody else with you?
No.
Okay. Did he shoot himself?
No.
Okay. I know he didn't shoot himself because of where he was shot and how many times he was shot. So what the fuck happened? I know he was alive between 6 and 7. I know what time you got there. Okay. I know he didn't make that call to SunTrust unless he did it because you made him do it. You have his fucking card in your wallet. You cashed his checks that you forged to yourself the day he was murdered. And I'm not yelling at you to yell at you or be an asshole, but I'm trying to get it through your head that this is fucked up. And I'm giving you the chance to tell me what happened. Because if you don't give me the chance, if you don't tell me what happened, you know what it looks like. And you know what they're going to say. I can't make you any promises, man, but you're looking at, this is fucking serious. You think your bank robbery was bad? How much time did you do for that?
7.
7. You think that was bad? bro, you're looking at going to prison for the rest of your motherfucking life. You know? Because the way it looks is it looks like you broke into this house, you kidnapped this man, and you held him hostage for 2 hours and murdered him in cold blood, and then cashed his checks on not only the day of the murder, but 2 days later. How does that look? You know, it frustrates me because I know there's a reason. Like, I know you didn't just go there to kill that dude. Because I believe, because you have some working knowledge of his company and his work habits because you used to work for him, that you had no idea he was going to be there. I don't think you went there to hurt him. I think you went there to steal checks.
Actually, I knew he was.
So you knew he was going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how did you end up there at 7 o'clock in the morning? Why did you go there? I mean, this is it, Billy. Like right now, sitting here talking to me, this is the biggest moment of your life. Okay? It's bigger than when your daughter was born last month or earlier this month. This is the biggest moment of your life right now.
Bigger than when your daughter was born. The detective just told a new father that this interrogation room matters more than his child's birth. And the devastating thing is, he's right. Because what Billy says or doesn't say in the next few minutes determines whether he ever holds that daughter again. Billy knows it. Pete knows it. And Billy still can't say the words.
But there's just no way.
There's no what? You know, you're sitting here telling me I didn't do it, I didn't this, I didn't that, but you're not giving me anything other than, like, give me something here. Give yourself something here. You know what I mean? Like, this is your chance to explain what happened. Because it doesn't look good. It looks horrible. You know? But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there just isn't a reason. Maybe that's why you can't tell me anything. Because maybe you did just go there to kill him because you were mad at him. Is that not what happened?
No, that's not what happened, Pete.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, Pete. Call me Pete. That's my name. Okay? You know, you don't need to call me detective or sir or anything. Call me Pete. Like...
See, no matter what I do, you're not going to believe me. It won't matter.
Well, you haven't told me anything, Billy. Like, you say that, but you haven't told me anything. All you've told me is that you were there. But then you won't say, and you said nobody else was there. You know, so it's not like you went there with somebody else. All you've told me is that you were there, which I already knew. You know, and then it won't matter. That's all you've said. So, you say that, but how do you know? Like, I'm telling you, man, I'm not fucking lying to you. This is your one opportunity to put out there what happened. Because everything's going to change after this. How did we get from Jeff listening to Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles to you sitting here in the homicide unit of the Montgomery County Police, you know, talking about what happened? How did that... There's a story behind that. And dude, quite honestly, man, and I'm not just saying this, I've been completely surprised by your demeanor since we first met. I didn't expect you to be like the way that you are. I expected you to be an asshole, to be like, I completely like was thrown off. Like that's why I came and sat here and ate with you. I don't normally do that. But I'm like, fuck man, like this dude's in a shitty spot. And you know, I was always gonna buy you food because it's the right thing to do and I can't starve you here. But I was like, fuck, I need to sit down and eat with this dude because like, you know, I feel fucking horrible about what's about to come and what's about to happen, you know? But, bro, you're not giving me anything here, you know? You're not giving yourself anything here, you know? Like, you know what happened. Like, you know how it happened. You're the only one who can put those pieces together. Because, again, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and be like, oh, you can just explain your way out of this and it'll all be okay.
I'm not. You know,
but the fact is that, like, again, there's a huge difference between, you know, there's a lot of, like, when things happen, when people get shot, or whatever, like, there's a lot of different reasons. Like,
Pete, I'm scared to death right this second.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
I want to trust you. Okay. I do.
Okay.
And legitimately, I have an explanation.
Okay.
It's not great. It's still bad.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then what you need to do is trust yourself. You don't need to worry about trusting me. Okay.
But you're asking me, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you know every single time, hell, even Willard told me, you know, to not say anything and ask for an attorney. But I've always felt that, you know, just talking to somebody, you know, being upfront is is always the better option. But
Well, Billy, the thing is, man, is like,
and I don't want to be labeled as a monster because I'm not a monster.
so that's what I'm telling you, bro. Is
But
that
they're already labeling me a monster.
nobody's labeled you anything. Okay, it's just me and you here. Okay, nobody knows you're here except for me and the guy that I work with.
Hell,
You know,
my fiance and
Well,
my son know.
well, there's nothing we can do about that. Okay,
You know, but
except put the right picture out there. Don't put the monster picture out there. That's not what it is. Let's put the right picture out there.
see, you're not gonna believe you're not gonna believe it. I don't have a gun. I'm sorry, I just don't have one.
Okay.
Okay?
How did you get in the house?
To the front door.
Was it locked or unlocked?
It was unlocked.
You rang the doorbell?
I knocked on the door a few times.
The front door?
Yes.
Alright, so then what happened? What happened after you knocked on the door?
I'm not a monster, Pete.
Well, tell me. Tell me why. Prove it to me. You knock on the door. What happens? How many times you knock on the door?
Twice with my standard knock I do.
Okay. Did Jeff come to the door?
No.
So did you let yourself in?
I went and smoked a cigarette first. Thinking maybe he was just in the bathroom or he was running late. Not what you think, Pete.
So you got there before 8. You knocked on the door. No answer. You went and smoked a cigarette. What happened next?
Pete, what I did was wrong, but I didn't kill him. Okay? I did not kill anybody.
So what happened? How did you get into the house? You said the front door. It was unlocked. So you let yourself into the house.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I can't do it. Words from a man standing at the edge of a confession he'll never make. Billy Phillips went to Jeff Biddle's house knowing Jeff was home. He spiked Jeff's tire so Jeff couldn't leave. He held Jeff hostage for 2 hours. He forced Jeff to call his bank. He forced Jeff to send an email to his co-workers. Then he shot Jeff 4 times. And now, sitting across from a detective who has been more patient and more humane than any reasonable person would expect, Billy can't say it out loud. Not because he doesn't remember. Because saying it makes it real. And real means life in prison.
Reasons. Like on one end of the spectrum, you have like where like somebody shoots and kills somebody in self-defense, right? That happens. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have a serial killer. You know, that just fucking kills people just to kill them. There's a huge space in between. And I don't think you meant to kill Jeff at all, okay? But I think something got out of hand, you know? And what happened, happened. But, dude, I'm telling you, if this is the spectrum, with what I have, what I've seen, okay, what that crime scene looks like, you know, and you sitting here and not telling me anything, it looks closer to this end of the spectrum than this end, okay, when maybe the truth is somewhere in here. But only you can put that out there. Only you can give that. You know, only you can give yourself that chance. Give yourself, like, help yourself here, man. Like, I'm throwing you a fucking line. You know, with the amount of evidence that I have, and I know that I don't have yet, but that I will have because I've been doing this for a while, and I know how these things unfold. Okay, like, I know what's gonna come in the future. Evidence-wise, at least I can take a pretty good guess. Like, I didn't even have to come in here and talk to you today. You know, you could have gone straight up the road. But that's not really how I operate. You know, I believe there's always a reason for something. I mean, fuck, dude. I know the circumstances behind when your bank robbery thing. Like, I read the report. I talked to the investigator. Like, clearly that was the act of a desperate man. That was not a fucking bank, you know, like a serial bank robber or something you see on TV. You know, Cash and Steve Willard checks. I know about all that. I mean, obviously that's not why we're here. I don't think there's any mystery why we're here. You know, Cash and Jeff checks, like, or stealing checks from Jeff. Like, you got no job, or, well, you may have a job, but you got fired from one, you got a baby on the way. I know how stressful that can be, even in the best of circumstances. And so do you, because you have other kids. You know? I can understand why you would go try to steal, or try to, you know, do what you have to do to feed yourself and your family. You know? And I understand, because I've been doing this job for a while, that sometimes shit just happens, and it just gets out of hand. And you don't intend for something to happen, but fuck, it does. you know? But again, I can't stress it enough, man. Like, it's only you that can make that a reality. It's only you that can put that out there. Because what we have right now don't look good. His fucking card is in your wallet.
I know it is.
You know, you deposited $94 cash, okay, from a man who religiously kept around $100 in his wallet. So even if you didn't take the money out of his wallet, it fucking looks like you did. You took his checks, you took his card, and probably his cash. And he's dead. I mean, that doesn't look good. Are you a monster?
No, I'm not a monster.
Okay. Are you a cold-blooded killer?
No.
Okay. Then something happened.
Should I have an attorney or no?
I can't tell you that, man. This is your life, man. This is your chance to tell us what happened. This is your chance to get out there. You know? This is your chance to write your side of the story. That's all I can give you, is an opportunity. Okay? And that's what I'm trying to do.
There's just no way. There's no way. Can I please talk to my fiance?
You'll have a chance to talk to her. Okay? But I can't let you talk to her yet. Okay? You'll get a chance. I want you to be able to talk to her. You know? But I can't have you talk to her yet.
Why not?
Because I can't. You know, we gotta finish what we have to do here. And then you'll have an opportunity. She still has her phone. We didn't take it. We left it with her. You know, we don't want to leave her with a newborn baby and their phone.
Where's my son?
His mom's coming to get him.
Why would you take her phone?
We didn't take her phone. That's what I'm trying to tell you. She has her phone.
I don't have a number.
I want to make sure you have it before we leave here.
I need an attorney. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know this just makes me mad now.
It doesn't make me mad at all.
But yeah, it does. I know it does.
Do I look mad?
Will you at least just wait? Will you just, even if you won't give me her number, will you please just make sure she's okay?
I know for a fact she's okay.
That's.
Before I came down here to talk to you, the other people that were at your apartment left, and they called me and said they left. They brought your son here. They took him to get food. We had to call his mom, obviously, because your fiance has no legal authority over him. Your fiance, Marie, did offer to watch him, but your ex-wife, I guess, wasn't okay with that. So she's coming here. We didn't want to have to call child protective service or anything like that. So there's somebody sitting with him upstairs until she gets here. And Marie and the baby are fine. The dogs are fine. Everybody's fine. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Other than her number.
Yeah, I'll make sure you have it with you. So what's going to happen, have you ever been arrested in Maryland before?
No, sir.
Okay. So you're going to go from here to the commissioner's office, like I said in the form that I read you. We're going to get a copy of your arrest warrant. You're going to hear your charges and all that. You know, and then kind of go from there.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if they give you a bond or not. I can't imagine that they will. Just, you know, being honest with you. Okay? Alright, I'll get your number for you before we get out of here.
Where will I be able to call her from?
When you get to the central processing unit, you'll be able to call her there. Okay.
Thank you, Pete.
Yep.
Thanks, Pete. A man who just spent 2 hours refusing to confess to murder thanks the detective by his first name on his way to booking. That single exchange, the courtesy, the humanity, the absurd normalcy of it, is the emotional signature of this case. Billy Phillips is not a monster in the way the word usually means. He's something harder to process, a man capable of holding another human being hostage for 2 hours and shooting him 4 times, who is also genuinely polite, genuinely scared, and genuinely incapable of saying what he did out loud. Billy Phillips pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, home invasion, armed robbery, and use of a firearm in commission of a felony. He was sentenced to life in prison plus an additional 65 years. The investigation confirmed what the detective suspected. Billy had spiked Jeff's tire before entering the house, so Jeff could not escape. He held Jeff hostage for approximately 2 hours. During that time, he forced Jeff to call SunTrust Bank at 7:58 a.m. and to send the family emergency email at 9:07 a.m. He then shot Jeff 4 times with a .22 caliber weapon. The 4th shot was fatal. Billy cashed Jeff's forged checks on the day of the murder, $9,500 at 11:53 and $4,450 earlier that afternoon, wearing the same clothes he'd worn to Jeff's house that morning. Jeff's credit card was still in Billy's wallet when he was arrested 6 days later. Life plus 65 years. For context, Billy did 7 years for bank robbery and came out desperate enough to kill. He will die in prison. His newborn daughter will grow up without him. Jeff Biddle's company will continue without its founder, and the house Jeff built over 18 years, the one he was still working on when he was killed, will be finished by someone else. Or not at all. Jeff Biddle woke up on June 23rd and searched for a song about hope. He listened to the Beatles while the sun came up over a house he'd built with his own hands. At some point between that song and 9:20 a.m., a man he used to employ knocked on his front door, walked into his home, and ended his life. Billy Phillips wasn't a stranger. He wasn't a random intruder. He was someone Jeff had given a job, a salary, a position of trust. And when that trust was broken, when Billy was fired for the fraud he committed, Billy decided the answer was to go back to the source, not to apologize, not to ask for help, to take everything Jeff had left, including his life. The detective was right about one thing. Billy did a fucking awful job, but Jeff Biddle is still dead. And Here Comes the Sun still plays on the radio like nothing happened.